Well, I first want to talk about you and talk about your background. So you're from Argentina, correct?
Correct.
How different is it here in the U.S. compared to back home?
In terms of what?
In terms of like food, culture, what people wear, all of it.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty different. I'm from a really big city. I think that's the biggest difference, I would say. You know, just being able to walk anywhere, take a bus, take the subway, stuff like that. Which here that's not a thing. So
Yep.
I would say that's the main thing.
Okay. Is the food better at home versus here?
Yeah, it's
Would you
healthier
say?
too.
Would you say? I figure, I've heard that people will go to like Europe and they'll eat a bowl of pasta and they won't get bloated after. They come here and they eat it and they don't feel very good. So why is that? Do you think
I have no idea,
less
but it is
preservatives?
kind of true. I
Right?
guess.
Okay. Well, you moved here and you had a very successful career at Oklahoma Christian. And you went on to play on a season at the NGA Pro Golf Tour, which is awesome. Can you talk on that experience for a second?
It was good. I mean, I realized pretty quickly that it wasn't my thing.
Why is that?
Just very competitive. I didn't get off to a good start. Just a lot of things, honestly. But it is very challenging. It's tough to be all alone. The pro golfer life, it's not what people think. It's a lot more, you're by yourself all the time, practicing by yourself most of the time, traveling by yourself. It's not as glamorous as people think, especially when you're playing mini tours. I mean, once you get, hopefully to the PGA Tour or the European Tour, then it starts changing a little bit. But yeah, it was challenging. I'm glad I did it though, because it was definitely something that I wanted to do. But yeah, here I am.
What were some of your takeaways from that experience?
Just how diligent you need to be when it comes to practicing, how much you need to know yourself and your game, how important discipline is, really in all aspects. But once you get to that level, if you're not 100% in it, you got no chance.
Would you say all of that in playing college golf, would you say that has helped you as a coach?
100%, yeah, sure.
In what ways?
Kind of what I was just telling you, understanding how important discipline is, how important it is to be mentally in it at all times, not just when you're on the golf course, but everything you do around it. I would say those two things are the main takeaways that I took from that whole experience.
That's awesome. Do you have any tips for new golfers? Me, because I put craters in the ground every time I try to golf. I've only been a handful of times, but I'm not very good. Do you have any tips for new golfers?
I would have to see your swing, and I could tell you some after that.
Okay, you could tell I'm not an expert just by my swing. I think I swing it more like a baseball bat than a
lot of people do, yeah.
Well,
usually slice it, yeah.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about your team for a second. You have a very talented, special group. What has stuck out to you so far, and what are you looking forward to as the season progresses?
I think this team, a couple of things. Number one, this team really gets along, and I feel that's going to be a difference maker this year. It's a little bit of a bigger team compared to last year, but everybody's really getting along. They seem to be very close together, which is something the more I'm coaching, the more I'm realizing how important that is. So I really want that to be an important part of this team, and so far it's been awesome to see. And then I think this year we have not only the most talented team that we've had since I've been here, but also the more depth. I feel like anybody out of the 10 guys can go and play a tournament in the top 5 and they can perform at a high level. And that, as a coach, it's a little problematic because it's hard to select who's going to play and who's not. But it's a good problem to have, for sure.
You have quite a few international kids on your team. I'm curious, how do you find them and recruit them to come here at WT?
It's all done through agencies most of the time. You know, agencies that they recruit and they get in touch with coaches and send you all the information that you need from them. And then honestly, a little bit of that also, as you coach and you start having kids from specific areas. So for example, you know, Pablo, kid from Spain, that he's a junior right now, one of his really good friends happens to also be a really good player, so there was a connection there, and now he's here as a freshman. So
interesting. Track does the same thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have friends or family members who want to come play, and that's really interesting.
It's very common in the golf world, for sure.
Now, you said that your team is very close because cross country does this. Do you guys take a van instead of a bus to those long road trips?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we all fit in there. So.
Okay. Would you say that builds camaraderie among the team? And
I don't know, because I haven't really had the experience of taking a bus.
Okay.
Because we're never big enough to take a bus, so I don't know.
Okay, interesting. I was curious because cross country, they talked about how it helps the team bond. So
it's definitely, it is fun to go on trips and yeah, we're all kind of crammed together, so.
Well, golf is a long season. You play in the fall semester and the spring semester. How do you kind of keep your guys focused throughout the year with it being such a long season?
Yeah. No, I think it's a good balance because, you know, we play basically September and October, and then we stop. So they do get about a month and a half off.
Okay.
Not completely off, but at least we're not competing and we're not practicing as much. So I think that's needed, and yeah, it's not a problem. In fact, I mean, honestly, I think that we all wish we would compete even more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool.